Right now, the day's biggest news stories from a Vegas perspective. This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take. Sharp and Shapiro rolling out the red carpet for hour number 3. So glad you could join us. Man, the holidays are right around the corner. Right after the show today, I am flying out to Connecticut to see my family. And I hate flying. I'm very claustrophobic. I absolutely hate it. But you certainly only have one mom and dad. Now, people call into this show all the time, and they call me crazy. They call me a lot of names. And, well, you know, let's find out if that's true or not. Maybe you might think my parents are crazy. Well, we have a clinical psychologist that is holding on the line that is currently listening to this. We're not going to have her on yet. We'll introduce her here in a few minutes. But right now, calling into the show for the first time is my mother, Denise. By the way, this wasn't my idea, Mom. This was our producer's idea, Mom. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. In fact, Dad just came home, so he could be on too.
Oh, wonderful. So hopefully you guys can get into an argument live on the radio. That'd be great. Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah,
So, Mom,
Hi, Denise.
what went wrong with your son? Why do so many people think I'm crazy?
Oh, I don't think you're crazy. I think you're just fine. You're very comical. You like to joke around a lot, and you make people laugh and have a good time listening to you.
All right, this isn't the real mom that I know. The real mom that I know would be calling me names right now and be telling me to get my oil change. And I mean, how irresponsible am I? Be honest.
Yes, you are a procrastinator. You're waiting at a 3,000 miles. You'll be lucky if you change your oil 6,000 miles.
Oh, that's fair. That's very fair. So, Mom, would you consider yourself crazy? Because a lot of people think that I'm crazy. Do you think you're a little crazy, Mom? Be honest. You're a little nuts.
Now, listen, I was very successful PTA president, very prestigious school for 3 years. We had lots of doctors, lawyers, and I did fine.
A PTA president? What does that have to do with being crazy? I don't understand.
Well, if I'm crazy, I can't deal with 50 parents of a prestigious school. They would say, whoa, they can't deal with this PTA president. Get her out of there.
All right, explain to me why my father, not your father, geez. Well, explain to me why my father is obsessed with duct tape. Anything that breaks in the house, he uses duct tape. I remember one time he drives like a car that's about 60 years old, and that's not a good thing. It's not an antique. And then, what is it? The side mirror falls off, and he uses duct tape to put it back on, and adhesive. There's duct tape all over the house everywhere. If there is a dime or a quarter somewhere, it doesn't matter who owns it. He's always going to pick it up, and he collects his change. My dad's a little bit obsessive-compulsive, isn't he?
Well, he is with that duct tape. I mean, it's in the car all over the place, and your car, Hyundai Elantra, now has duct tape all around the place.
So a lot of people think that your son is very spoiled, that I have a sense of entitlement, that I need to sit front row for basketball games or concerts. My co-host JD would at times call me very selfish. I've been called an a-hole plenty of times, which actually I agree with. Would you agree with people saying those things about your son? And please be honest. Forget that there are hundreds of thousands of people listening. Pretend like it's just you and me on the phone.
Okay, well, this is who you see. You're just like your mom. And I can't look in the mirror and
I was
say,
not a
"This
PTA
lady's
president.
crazy."
That's
this
not
lady
true.
is not crazy. And a firstborn actually cannot be crazy because he was his baby picture exactly like his mom's, and he's like a comedian similar to his mom. I don't think he's crazy. I think he's comical.
Where's the mother? Where's the mother that I know that constantly insults me and insults your husband and insults your daughter? Where's the mom that I know that is so abruptly honest and at times swears at people? What happened to that mom? We have the very nice mom that is saying nice things about your children, which is great. But what happened to that other mom? Why couldn't we catch you in a really bad mood?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because there's so many people listening to this.
Oh, is that what it is?
I want them, your radio show is great, and if they think that the one has his own sports show is crazy, they might turn off the radio.
Well, that's true. They're probably turning it off anyway. But okay, here's another question for you. How's the sex life with Dad? Be honest.
Well, sex life. He's 70. I'll be absolutely honest. He's 71 years old. I'm 62 years old. I happen to have a hormonal condition called hyperparathyroid.
Oh, that sounds... I wish my girlfriends had that. That sounds
well,
good.
One of the symptoms is increased sexual woe. So
All right, now I'm going to throw up.
Sexual what? Yeah, sexual drive. Increased sexual drive.
Is that my dad? Wait, hold on.
He wants to take a nap.
Is that my dad in the background helping you? Oh, my God. When was the last time you guys had sex?
Oh, geez, let's see. You're how old? You're 39. So it would have to be 40 years. Oh, I forgot you have a sister 5 years or that, and she's 34. So probably 35 years ago.
Wait, hold on a second.
Time.
Okay, by the way, if you're just joining us, this is my mother, Denise Shapiro, on the line. You're telling me that the last time you had sex with my father was 35 years ago? Are you being facetious or are you being truthful?
I'm being facetious.
Oh, okay.
Really, the truth is probably a couple of days ago.
Okay, well, I'm flying out there today, so please do me a favor and tell Dad to keep his hands off you for at least a few days while I'm there, because that's disgusting. I do think I need some therapy. I'm asking my mom some very inappropriate questions, but that's okay. That's fine. So what's it like? What's like your life out there in Connecticut? Like, what is it? What do you guys do every day? I always wanted to know, like, what is an exciting day for you guys? Does my dad, does he ever take you out on a date? Does he ever spend money on you? Because I'll tell you, I was on a date out here in Vegas when you guys visited me several months ago. And I'm sitting there with my date, and you had already left town, so my dad is there. We went to have lunch. The bill was $22. And my dad said, all right, we'll split the bill. And I just erupted. I went nuts. Is he doing that with you?
No, he doesn't make me split the bill, because if he did, he knows where the front door is. So
oh, okay. Well, that's good.
He doesn't make you split the date.
I'm glad to hear that. Can you please share with everybody how my father met you and how he lured you into a first date?
Oh, yes. My brother ran a ping pong tournament, called table tennis, in the high school I used to attend. And he played in a few tournaments with...
Ping pong. Wow, that's romantic.
Ping pong with my husband now. Anyway, so I was the only woman in the tournament. And my husband went over to my brother and said, who's that woman over there? He said, that's my sister. He said to him, why didn't you tell me you have a sister? And he came and walked over to me afterwards, and he said, oh, your paddles, that's old-fashioned. I'll get you a new paddle in exchange if you go on a date with me.
So my dad offered you a paddle. He wanted you to see his ping pong paddle, and in return...
I like it.
So a ping pong paddle got him a first date. Wow. Isn't there some sort of story where first date he wanted to go Dutch with you or something? Tell us about that.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, he said, I'll take you to a movie, and then to dinner every Saturday night. He'd take me to a movie. No, first dinner, then a movie, then Friendly's used to be there. Friendly's
is like a diner. Yeah.
Yes, but anyway, at the movie he said, oh, would you like, that's a good movie. How about if we split it?
You're kidding me.
And I said, what? I think he paid the full amount from then on. So I said, what?
That's awful. And back then it was like, what, 40 cents for dinner? Because you guys are like really old. You're like 120 years old. So back then, taking someone out to dinner and a movie.
Great dinner. Very good
taking me out to dinner and a movie back then was like 25 cents.
So Denise, this is JD here. So privately, you've requested that Brian get his flu shot at least 120 times in the last 6 months.
About maybe 125.
Do you think that he has actually done that yet?
It's a good question.
Yes, I believe he did. He called up and told me I got my flu shot. And that's like a month after I told him to. But
all right. Well, JD, you're a poker player. You am I telling the truth?
No.
Am I bluffing?
I think you're bluffing.
Okay, I'm not going to comment on that. I'm not going to comment on the air. I'm not going to comment on it.
You're not going to say if you got your flu shot?
No, I'm not going to comment.
Are you serious?
Mom, I got checked for STDs, though. I have herpes. I did go to the doctor, and I am taking medication for that. I hope that's okay with you.
That's okay, because I'm your mom. I'm not your girlfriend. It's fine with me.
Mom, I get about 2 hookers per week. We have unprotected sex. But listen, Dad told me to do it. It's his fault. Is that okay?
No, with a hooker, I don't believe a hooker would make any gentleman use a condom.
All right. Well, we're not going to talk any more about condoms with my mom, but we are going to bring somebody on the line with us right now.
That's an astute observation.
She is a CEO, a consulting psychologist, and a health correspondent. She does a show out there in D.C. She is very smart, very intelligent. Her name is Alexis Moreno, and she's been on our show before. And boy, do we need a psychologist to talk about this. Alexis, thank you so much for being here. How are you?
I'm having a great time. This conversation's very entertaining.
Entertaining and sad at the same time. Okay, Alexis, so give me your opinions, your professional opinion. I know it's not a ton of information, but you got a little bit there of my relationship with my mom and the conversation that we've talked about. What are your initial thoughts being a professional?
Oh, it's so super sweet. And I know you're saying it's not maybe as accurate as it is when you guys are offline, but I mean, you can just tell how much your mom is just trying to protect you in so many different ways. Even in this very conversation, she doesn't want to insult you because she's worried that your listeners might stop listening to your show.
Well, all my listeners hate me anyway, so there's really nothing to lose at this point. So, okay, so do you think I'm spoiled, Alexis? Do you think my mom spoiled me growing up? Because I do have a sense of entitlement.
I didn't hear anything from that conversation. Do you have any examples of how you might be entitled or spoiled? Because to me, so far, it just sounds like you're very much loved.
All right, fair enough. So what do you make of the fact that my parents' sex life is not great, from what I've heard? Like, what do you think about that?
Well, congratulations for talking about that, because a lot of people don't. So you guys have a very special relationship. If you feel comfortable to ask your parents how their sex life is going, it's very mature of you. And you do see increased rates of sexual behaviors and unhealthy sexual behaviors in older populations.
Yeah.
And so it's very nice that you're asking about that. But it's just going to depend from person to person.
All right.
About
fair enough.
Brian, I would like to give a comment. I was at my doctor a few weeks ago, and this is the truth. In the United States today, and all other countries too, 80% of women hate sex.
What?
80%, 8 out of 10.
Alexis, is that true, or is my mom just making that up?
I haven't heard that stat before.
So
That's what my GYN told me. She sees a lot of women a day. 8 out of 10 hate sex.
Well, I can understand why you think that if you're been hanging out with my dad for 40 years. I can, but I don't know. That's. I hope that's not true. JD wants to join into this conversation.
Okay,
Go ahead, JD.
So Alexis, Brian has really good hand-eye coordination, and he went to an arcade about 3 weeks ago, and he won a lot of tickets, and he used those tickets to get prizes, to exchange for prizes, and he actually is using those prizes. He's bringing those prizes home to give to his family for their Christmas gifts. My question to you is, who, and his family doesn't know this, but who buys family gifts or who wins family gifts at an arcade?
I think that's a really creative solution to the whole going out there to the malls and shopping with all the chaos. It's like a win-win situation, isn't it? Like, you get to play the games and get entertained, and then give your gift away. I think at least good prizes.
So he kind of wants his cake. He wants to eat it too. It's kind of a selfish move by Brian. Then
I don't think it's selfish at
it's
all.
Not selfish.
They're actually very good prizes. I don't want to say them on the air because I want it to be a surprise. But I actually think the prizes I got for them are things that they like. And I'm sorry if I used my eye-hand coordination and my skill to benefit, to help my family,
which is exceptional.
Thank you. I do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Mom,
That's
this is
a creative solution to having to do all of the holiday shopping. I'm not,
yeah. So JD,
really fun.
yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, doctor. So JD, you know a lot about my mannerisms. You've known me for a while. Ask the doctor a question about me. Go ahead, JD. Anything is open game. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Anything about you. All right.
Yes.
So when Brian gets excited, his hands go to his side and he flails them back and forth for about 4 or 5 seconds.
I do. My mom, can you talk about that? Because I've been doing that since I was a little kid, right?
Yes, you were 1 year old, and you did that, and we noticed, and you laugh also. When you laugh, your hands go, whoa, they go wild, both hands.
There you go. Alexis, what does that mean?
Well, I mean, it could just be something as very general as your way of showing excitement, which is what it sounds like. There's no other symptoms that come along with that.
But it's not like a neurological tick.
You do the same thing, JD. You smack your leg.
I'm not suggesting. That's why I'm asking the question, because again, I'm being selfish myself, and I want to know about myself in the process.
Listen, for the record, for the record, I do the exact same thing when I reach climax. I'm sorry, that was a horrible joke with my mother on the line. It was terrible. I apologize. If you're just joining us, my mother is on the line, Denise Shapiro, also joined by the CEO and consulting psychologist and health correspondent Alexis Moreno out there in D.C. She does a great radio show as well. Mom, this is a perfect opportunity opportunity to get free consultation and free advice from a very, very intelligent clinical psychologist. So Mom, can you please interject here? My father is a little crazy, just like you are. I am too. So this is a perfect example. Go ahead. Ask something, Mom, to Alexis. Go ahead.
Well, that's a tough one, you see.
No, it's not.
I have hyperparathyroid.
Oh, geez.
Increased libido. And I have a husband who's 9 years older than I am. So that presents a problem. So what is your suggestion what to do with that problem?
But that I could imagine that would be incredibly frustrating for you. And that's definitely something that you would need to sit down and talk with your husband about to figure out, like, what other ways can you guys connect intimately? Because if you have, these sensations of having this increased libido and your husband does not, there is that mismatch there. So it's about figuring out what could work for the two of you, because that is a really important aspect of your life that you don't want to overlook or ignore.
I'll take Dad to the strip club this weekend.
Oh, that's a good idea.
My mom approves.
That'll set his motor on fire. That's good.
I want him to connect with your mom, not with strippers.
I would like both, actually. I think he should bring a stripper home for my mom. I think that would be great. Anyway, all right, on a serious note, Dr. Moreno, can you give people advice, listeners, how do they cope with crazy family members this holiday season? How do you cope with that?
Yeah, I feel you. So here's the crazy thing, is that on our normal, typical day-to-day, how much time are we really spending with our families? It's definitely not going to be 24/7 on an average day. So why in the world do we expect ourselves to spend 24/7 with our families just because it's the holiday? So if you're feeling some kind of like guilt or shame because you're not really looking forward to spending so much time with your family, just go ahead and keep that in check, because the expectation of the holidays is already crazy and unusual. So go ahead and just give yourself that compassion and break already, that, hey, it's abnormal for us to be spending so much time together and expect everything to go smoothly, because it's just kind of setting us all up for failure there.
That's a really good point. It's totally different from your standard day-to-day. Let me ask you this, and I won't relate this to Christmas, but how much time have you heard of a husband and a wife spending together in a week? And or how much time is too much, do you think, for a husband and a wife to spend together in a week?
Yeah, that's just going to depend on the couple. Everyone's a little bit different. Some people, they're like best friends and they love spending every moment together that they can. I mean, some couples actually work together, and that works great for them. And then others, they need more time apart and more time with their individual groups of friends. It's going to depend.
Yeah, that's fair.
Now, what if one of the two, either the husband or the wife, wants to spend more time with the other one than the other one wants to spend with them? How do you find a happy medium there, or maybe they're just more dependent than the other one is? Yeah,
and hopefully that's the kind of stuff that you figure out while you're dating. To make sure that quality time piece is something that you guys both share, so that way you're not struggling with it for forever when you're married.
That's fair.
But have you guys heard of love languages?
No, I have not.
Okay, so this actually was coming to mind when I was listening to Denise talk about her relationship with her son. And there's like these 5 different types of love languages, meaning the way that people give and receive love. So one way might be spending quality time together. By spending quality time together, you're like, I'm feeling the love and I'm giving the love. This is the way I appreciate it. Another way is physical touch or affection. Another way would be acts of service, like let's say your dad fixes your tire for you or goes to get your oil changed since you're not doing it.
Right.
That would be an act of service of them showing you that they care about you and that they love you. Another one would be, let's see, so we got quality time, affection, acts of service.
Is spending money part of the love language?
Yep, gifts, spending money. So the gifts don't have to necessarily be something that's crazy expensive. It could just be something like, I was on this walk and I saw this and it made me think of you.
Yeah, I went to the dollar store. So yeah. Let me ask you, Mom. Mom, do you think I need a wife and kids? Be honest.
Yes, I have one granddaughter. I want more grandchildren.
So it's a selfish thing then. It's just about...
You might have children already. Maybe no one knows.
Not that I know of, yes.
Now, Denise, would you prefer if that wife were Jewish as well as Brian is?
If she was what?
If she was Jewish.
I think it's nice to be in the same culture.
Well, that's impossible because I want a woman that eats bacon every day, so that's certainly not going to happen. There's no question about it. Alexis, before we let you go, and by the way, we appreciate your time and your advice and all that stuff. Can you give out a little bit of information about how people can find you, find your radio show, and if people actually want to contact you and want to see you, where can they find you?
Yeah. Well, we're online, witandreason.com. That's WITAND, reason.com. And we have all of our information on there. You can learn more about the different ways that we show each other love and what works and what doesn't work in the dating and family world, and how to cope with all of these holiday stressors. So online,
awesome.
witandreason.com, or Twitter or Instagram. We're all over the place.
Awesome. Well, Alexis, thank you so much for taking some time to join us. We will certainly need you to join us back on the program in a week or two because it's going to be a very stressful week for me. Yes. All right. Alexis, thank you so much for your time. We really do appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Alexis.
So, Mom, before I let you go, we only have about a minute here left to go. Thank you for sharing your love life live on the radio with all of us. We appreciate that. I look forward to seeing you and Dad. Please tell Dad to take you out to lunch today on me so he doesn't go Dutch with you. And I will see you guys later today. I love you, and I hope we have some fun, okay?
Okay, we'll be seeing you.
All right.
Happy holidays to everyone on your radio station.
Merry Chanukah. Thank you, Mom. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Denise.
Have a good day.
Have a good day. 20 years of being in radio, I've never done that before. That was weird. I got to be honest with you. That was weird.
I thought you handled it well.
Apparently, my dad is just not giving it up. He's just not doing it. My mom needs a little loving.
Well, he's playing hard to get, Brian.
I'm going to take him to the strip club tonight. I might do that.
Do they have those in West Hartford?
I'm gonna get my dad a lap dance. All right, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I'm going to have some tickets to give away to a Vegas show this weekend. Also, talk a little LeBron James. That coming up next. You're listening to The Vegas Tape.